Good morning, Pioneers. I'm here with Major Kenneth Scillieri, and we're going to talk about ROTC. So first, can you tell us about your time in the military?
Good day. I'm Major Ken Scillieri. I did 24 years in the Army. I originally enlisted. The reason I did that was for the college benefits. Then I went to New Mexico Military Institute, got my commission, and I stayed in the reserves while I was finishing up my college. Went to Sam Houston State University. The whole time I was in the reserves. And then I went back on active duty as a military police officer, and I completed up 24 years of active duty and went into teaching JROTC.
So what brought you here?
What brought me here? So when I was in the military, I always knew that at some point I would retire. One of my goals was to go into a career that would allow me to have some family time still. Since my kids, at retirement age, would still be high school age students. So I wanted something that would allow me the opportunity to still make a living, continue to make a difference. That was one of the big things about being in the Army that I enjoyed, having a mission, something that was important. So I think going into some sort of teaching career field gave you that same level of importance. But at the same time, it allowed me to have some family time. When I looked at my background experiences, what I wanted to do, trying to fit in family time, for me, JROTC made the best sense. Talk about a mission and a purpose, and then still having the same vacation schedules as my family. So that's really what attracted me to me in the beginning.
All right, awesome. And then ROTC program, it's oldest in the state, correct?
No, not the oldest state. First in the nation, period.
First in the nation.
So 1916 is when they officially started ROTC, when Congress passed the National Defense Act. It took the military a little bit of time to get the paperwork out. When the paperwork finally came out that following January, they listed 6 schools as the first 6 schools to officially be JROTC. We were one of those first 6 schools. The other 5 schools no longer exist as programs, or the schools have shut down since then. So that makes us the oldest JROTC program in the nation officially. Before that, this school has a long history being the first in the state. Along with that, the JROTC has been here that entire time. So we've always had some kind of military type training program. They might not have called it JROTC. Going back to the early 1880s, we had Barry's Cadets here. And then after that, we had another program. But there's always been some sort of military component working with cadets at the high school during military drill or training.
And then do you think this program is beneficial? Whatever it is, the ROTC program or the ones that have pre-existed it?
Oh, definitely, definitely. So let me tell you, study after study shows kids that are involved in something do better in school. Whether it's drama, theater, art, football, chess club, Dungeons and Dragons after school, you have to be part of something. So we try to provide that for a lot of kids with JROTC. We have 13 different teams because there's different kids interested in different stuff. So we have a variety of stuff to get them involved and do something. Because those are the kids at the end of the day that do well in school because they feel like they're part of school, they're connected to school. If you come to school and you're one of those kids that you're not involved in something, at the end of the day, those are the kids that are going home, they're pushing the door as they leave, they're kind of looking at their feet shuffling out the door, and maybe they're going to the house to play Xbox or something, but they don't have that connection. For them, a lot of those kids, high school, it sucks. But if you're involved, if you're having fun, study shows that those kids have higher grades, they have less trouble, more enjoyment in school as a whole. So I think it's important to be involved in something. Now, when it comes to JROTC, we track those statistics. So we look at the number of kids that are enrolled in the school, what the average GPA is, how many times incidences per kid that get in trouble. We look at attendance. And if you look at just the JROTC population, they'll have a slightly higher attendance, they'll have a slightly higher GPA, a slightly higher, a slightly lower incidence of getting in trouble. And I'm not saying it's because of JROTCs. Maybe it's kind of a chicken or egg. You know, is it the kids that are choosing to join, or is it us pushing them to be better? Might be a little bit of both. But I think that truth is going to come with a lot of activities. Maybe you're looking at the forensics team, and those kids are super involved and they feel connected. So they're going to do a good job. They want to do a good job. They want to participate. So it's the same thing with us. So I think having that something that they can call theirs, that they can create that bond and that clique of friends, and that becomes their family. I think that makes high school a better experience. So yeah, I think it's very beneficial. And then if you are on one of our teams, we really push them hard on grades. If you're going to travel with us, because we do a lot of traveling, we go all over the place, we can't be pulling kids out of school if their grades can't afford it.
Yeah.
So the mere fact that if you put in all that time and effort to do something that becomes your passion, and then we go off to compete at those highest levels, and it's a question of if you get a go or you don't get a go because of your grades. I think it's important that we push kids to do well academically, because at the end of the day, that's what school's about. So I think ROTC is good on lots of levels. We're giving them that home. We're pushing them academically. It gives that kid something that they can feel part of. And then, you know, when you look at the things we're trying to teach values. We're trying to teach citizenship. I think this is what we need sometimes.
So yeah, in high school as a whole, you need to get involved. You need to do something and feel connected, because statistics show it boosts how you do. So if ROTC does help with grades, those kids are a little bit better. Why are there so many misconceptions? Why do you think that?
I think the misconceptions is, it's just part of being a teenager in high school. Kids are going to talk about different things. I listened to Miss Pluvier's talk the other day when she was on here, and she made some great points. It's just generalities. I think she mentioned this. There's the generality of the dumb jock. No, there's a lot of great athletes in this school that have super high GPAs, and they're going on to great things in life. Just because you're great at athletics doesn't mean you're going to be done on the academic side. Yeah. But that's a stereotype that people have that's wrong. And I think the same thing applies to JROTC. There's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of thoughts out there that are wrong. We're not trying to create little mini soldiers. We're not trying to recruit people into the military. That's not our mission. Our mission is just to motivate young people to be better citizens. That's it. So I don't know. When you say why do people have different concepts, that's just kids talking sometimes. Same way I think she mentioned, not all theater kids are weird. There's a lot of great theater kids. And you know what? Sometimes weird is fun. Who knows? But it's the same thing with JROTC. Some of them people might think they're weird or they're this or they're that. But it's, they're passionate about what they're involved in. And I'd actually challenge those kids that think that there's something wrong with them to ask them, what are you involved in? Most kids, if you're passionate about something, if you're putting your heart and your energy into it, and you have fun, you're probably going to act a certain way in that group of kids. And I think kids look at that, and there's a phrase I don't like. I really don't like this phrase, the tryhards. A lot of times people look at them and say they're tryhards. And I'll be honest. I think the inverse of it is what we should be looking at. We should be looking at the people that are scared to try hard. And I think that term try hard comes from kids who are scared to fail. And they'd rather not try in the first place. So then what they do, instead of looking at what they're not doing, instead of looking at their own lack of success, they look at those kids that are successful. They want to take a bite out of it and call them a try-hard or something. But in the long run, those people that are dedicated, that have values, that work hard, that know how to show up on time and be part of a team, those are the people that are going to be successful in life. And you can learn those values anywhere. You can learn that on a soccer team. You can learn those values in ROTC. But you got to be somewhere and put that effort in. And unfortunately, there's those kids out there that they lack the effort, they lack the desire, and the only success they'll ever see is taking a bite out of someone else's success and trying to make fun of them.
So it's almost a safe face. I'm going to bring you down because I'm already down.
That's why I think of any time I hear someone say someone's a try hard. I'm like, no, you're a try not hard.
All right. So for those kids that do want to go into the military,
okay,
how does ROTC prepare them?
Okay, well, obviously, ROTC, we teach it in a military construct. So going into the military, they're going to already have an understanding of how the uniform works, attention to detail, stuff like that. They're going to understand the overall concept of how rank structures and how different positions correlate with each other. Big thing, in this school, we have a cadet staff, we have a cadet leadership, and then within the companies, each company has its leadership. And I think it's important for them to understand how that hierarchy works, how things work together as teams and the roles. And I mentioned it earlier, we teach values. Every branch of the military has a value system. I think every profession has a value system. So we teach and push the Army values, which is the 7 Army values. So I think just giving them a little leg up on that, when they get to whatever it is, whether they're enlisting or they're going to ROTC for college or they end up in an academy, when they get there, they're going to already have an understanding of what's expected of them values-wise. They're already going to have an understanding of what attention to detail means when it comes to putting together a uniform or putting together any kind of plan or organizing something. And I think pushing them to dedication, like some of these kids, it's amazing what they do. The Raider kids, how physically hard they push themselves. I mean, that's amazing. That's just amazing. Or you look at like our drill team kids. Those guys come in, and girls, they come in every morning, the entire school year at 6 a.m. There's no other group, team, activity, club, nothing in the school that requires that. So just learning that the determination to start something, finish something, to put their time into something, that's going to set them apart when they end up in the military. Because The military is similar like any other job. There's going to be expectations. You have to be somewhere at a certain time, and they're going to be used to that. Where some people, they might not have that same level of responsibility yet because they haven't practiced that.
So it's almost giving them a competitive edge in the field.
Yes. No, hey, look, I appreciate you guys having me on here today. I would encourage any kid to give ROTC a try. A lot of people think, well, I'm on the football team. I can't do ROTC. And we have kids that are very involved in the school. We have students that are, in student council, they're in the theater department, they're on multiple sports teams, and they're in JROTC. It's not a one or the other. You can do more than one thing. Obviously, you got to learn that time management skills. But I think some of the better cadets we've had are the kids that are the most involved in the school. We've had the captain of the soccer team in the last few years on the team. We've had the student council president. We've had some of the best school kids, I think, become part of the program. And that's good because there's that inter-department learning where you share experiences, something that they might have done when they were planning maybe homecoming, ties into how we plan our RO ball or vice versa. So there's a lot of experiences that can be shared. So I'd say, hey, look, give it a try. It's definitely, I believe it's a lot of fun. The 300 kids in our program, which is almost a quarter of the school, thinks it's fun. Winning is fun. There's nothing that wins as much as us. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we have a pretty solid history of winning, and I think kids want to be part of that. And along with that, new opportunities, unique opportunities to travel, go different places all over the U.S. And I think it's a great opportunity to be in high school, to be able to be part of that culture that believes in something bigger than yourself, to be part of a team that gets to win, to be part of an organization that gets to travel. I mean, what more can you ask for in high school? I mean, I think that'd be fun.
Covers all the bases.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sitting here and talking with us today. This is Joaquin Davila signing out.